Hello everybody, Danny TCV, TheCriminalViolin here. Welcome to CHATTERBOX episode 13. Somehow, I actually managed to remember correctly what episode of CHATTERBOX it was, despite the fact that it's been so long since I've done an official episode of this podcast. Today, I want to talk about a little bit about the Australian wildfires, but on top of that, I want to also be able to speak on the whole stupid situation with Iran. So, with the Australian wildfires, there's, of course, all of the consistently updated numbers, metrics on the, the amount of land burned and so on and so forth. There's over 5 million hectares burned. On average, the big, quote-unquote, big wildfires, whatever we consider as massive in the U.S., are about 300,000 hectares is as big as they get actively burning. This is 5 million, so it's obviously substantially bigger. It's almost the entirety of the whole island of Ireland, total land burned. Doesn't seem like much, but especially when you're coming from a place like, well, an example of the U.S., where even just the contiguous U.S. is so fucking massive, it seems like nothing. But that's the one that, of course, everybody's focusing on, that and the figure that there's supposedly about 250 million, I believe it's cubic feet or cubic tons or something like that, of carbon dioxide that's wound up distilled in our atmosphere as a result of it. And, the safe air is either 10 or I think 15 times considered the unhealthy values, and you just hear all the time about that. But the numbers that I want to really talk about and touch on are the ones that disturb me the most, and that is that there's either 23 or 25, because for some reason sources can't agree on that number, people that have died to the fires. Only 23 or 25. These have been happening since September 19th, by the way. At least these specific brush fires. Only 23 or 25 people have croaked to the fires. That's it. There's only been a little over 1,500, that's 1,500 homes that have burned. That's it. But there's somewhere well over 500,000 wildlife that have croaked to the fire. Which, again, only goes to prove my point that I love to make all the time, whether it's in a random ramble or rant on Twitter, or it's to myself, or it's to somebody I'm talking to, or whatever else, or maybe even in these, that humanity is just a pile of garbage, man. I tell you, we're such arrogant, self-righteous piles of shit. It's just disgusting that we're so desperately trying to protect ourselves and nothing else, that we're willing to let everything else around us literally burn to death. Why? Because they're not human. They don't matter as much. Truth is, they fucking matter just as much as we do. If there is a hierarchical system to be in place, the only hierarchy is everything goes above humans, because clearly we're proving why that should be the case. It's just sad. That to me is so fucking disturbing, that we're so intensely focused on ourselves, so righteous about ourselves, so protective of ourselves, but nothing else. That will expend every fucking dime we have, every penny, every person, every piece of equipment we have available, only to protect ourselves and our fucking buildings, which is helping destroy the environment and the natural world in the fucking first place. But the natural world itself, it can burn and die in flames. Who the fuck cares about that? It's not as important as us. It's just the saddest thing. I could rant for ages upon ages straight about that. How fucked up that is. That's such a disturbing statistic that goes to prove human arrogance. I just wish that wasn't the case. How can you have and allow so much wildlife to burn? It doesn't even include the non-human, non-wild animals that have burned to death. Whether it's some kind of livestock, so cows, pigs, alpacas, vicuñas, llamas, or should I say llamas, chickens, horses. Jeez, I mean, like, there's just so many different things. Ostriches. There's emus. There's so many. I say ostriches, but it's not Africa. There's so many different, livestock. There's so many different pets. There's so many different other things that people literally are thrilled to leave behind to burn to death just because, and leave them trapped in the fires, just because we're more important. So we say, bull fucking shit. We're more important. We're not more important than any other living thing on this earth. It's really fucking sad that we're so arrogant about that. Like, as you can see, like I said, I can go on for ages about fucking human arrogance and how disgusted I am by it. But this is like the perfect fucking piece of proof, the piece of resistance to humanity's self-righteous, self-absorbed arrogance and self-protection. It's self-aggrandization. It's just, I can't get over how much I wish I was not a part of this species, because it's just, there's so much wrong with this. So much wrong with us. So much wrong with this. It's just sad. But of course, there's another narrative that's going around being pushed more than that. And that is that, it's gonna lead to the more rapid extinction of the earth and so much in nature. Truth is, yeah, it might lead to a good few handfuls of species going extinct. But all of this stupid climatic change shit, well, 99% of it's bullshit. I don't care if it's an expert every expert climatologist in the room tells you, don't listen to this guy. We're right. The earth is going to go extinct. They're fucking lying to you. It's literally pure bullshit. Sensationalized bullshit. That's all it is. There's no truth to it at all. And the proof of that, unfortunately, is in consistently deleted articles. It's like so many other things that governments and corporations and special interests never want you to see. If it gets enough traction, they, in this case, mainstream science loves to pull this stuff, forcing people to pull it too. These articles that actually speak the truth, they're always fucking pulling the articles and deleting them so that they don't just simply depublicize them, so that there's the smarter people out there can figure out where and how their archive is stored so they can get the archived page. No, they want to prevent literally any eyes from touching it. So they literally delete the fucking article from existence and they never put it up again. They're told to do it. They do that with so many different things they don't want people to know. That is the real truth, because it doesn't fit their narrative. And in this case, with mainstream science and climatologists bullshitting the fuck out of the world with this climatic change shit, of it being so horrifically bad, when it's historically just the most incredibly vicious, and the earth is going to die, and all this other fucked up shit. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a hyped up false perception they're intentionally painting so that they can get people to join their sensationalization of it, join them in chirping the exact same things and repeating exactly what they say, so that way they can get as many people as they can on board believing the bullshit for whatever agenda theirs is, whatever they want to accomplish. And I'm telling you, I know it's nothing good. But I don't know what the fuck it is, but it can't be good if they're determined to get people to believe in it the world round. There's something off with that picture. Besides obviously trying to profit off of renewable electricity and all these other stupid green technologies. I don't know, it's just, there's something concerning about that too. But the point being is there's been articles in I guess it's more like 3-4 years. I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah. Let's do that. 2017, there was an article released. I believe it was from the Washington Post. It might have been from somebody else. I'm pretty sure it's from the Washington Post, though. But they had an article that was literally directly talking to and interviewing the Native Americans. There was a big group of multiple different Inuit tribes from up in Baffin Island and Hudson Bay and James Bay and up even through Alaska, all the indigenous tribes up on the Arctic Sea. And conveniently, these are the ones on the Arctic Sea, right? The thing that, everybody's always talking about, the sea ice, the permafrost is melting. Guess what they were fucking saying? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, it's melting. We've gone through this shit before. It's not that bad. Even history itself backs up the Native Americans' long-standing, first-hand records and accords, accounts, that is, of the previous forms of climatic change they've gone through. The Earth has gone through. And this is nothing to them. Like, literally, they're like, we've gone through this before, and this is one of the most pathetic additions of climate change we've ever had. It's so fucking weak and pathetic. Like, it's nothing to worry about. In fact, it's on perfect time. It's literally the natural clock has ticked to the point where this is going to begin. It's a natural cycle. As in, yes, this is not human caused, this climate change. It's just a natural cycle of the Earth. It happens all the fucking time. And history backs up their accounts of that. Because people that are not in mainstream science, like Greg Bratton, have literally looked to actual fucking history of what used to be mainstream science, which now is what quantum science is, which is what he's a part of. So technically real science, not mainstream science, which is the bullshit science, the lie, the fraudulent one. They have literally had long-standing records ever since they first got the ability to record it in data and charts. The charts literally prove this is exactly on time, just like the Native Americans said. It's perfectly natural, just like the Native Americans up in the Arctic North said. And not only this, but that it is one of the most historically weak, pathetic, feeble climatic change events the Earth has literally ever experienced in recorded history. The charts, the historical charts literally prove that. It is one of the weakest we've ever had. So this is nothing. But the thing is that if you look at it honestly, and this is going into just this whole climatic change hype bullshit in general. If you look at it honestly, the entire thing, without a bias or anything else, you'll either immediately or very quickly notice something very specific. And it is an extinction thing, but it's not the Earth that's going to go extinct. You know that the Earth has gone through so much worse than this before. It's going through so much worse, and it has been for possibly millions of years, probably at least a few thousand years, maybe upwards of 10 or 20, is us. A parasitic infection known as humanity. We're fucking parasites on it. It's our host, and we're the parasites that feed off of it. And the truth is that you notice how this thing is trending. And I think I've talked about this before in the Chatterbox, where this thing is trending with humanity, where everybody's saying the Earth is going to die, the Earth is going to go extinct if we don't do this, this, and that. What that really is saying is, it's very fucking blatantly obvious, is it's humanity being arrogant as always, trying to project their own reality of their own impending extinction caused by their own selves, so literal suicide, on the Earth. They're projecting it to the Earth and saying the Earth is going to die. Well, that's not the truth. They're saying that, and their words are saying that, but they're meaning humanity's going to go extinct, not the Earth. They project because they can't face the truth. Humanity has never once faced the fucking truth when it comes down to ourselves. When it comes down to us, we never allow ourselves to believe or see the truth. We know what it is, we just don't want to let ourselves see it or believe it. It's really fucking sad. But it proves that we're going to go extinct, not the Earth. The Earth is never going to go extinct with us. Obviously, it's a burnt out star, and at some point, the burnt out stars that support life end up also becoming barren. or I guess become extinct. They just become a normal rock out in space. But it happens naturally just with time, with age. It doesn't happen with some creatures living on it that cause its extinction. And the Earth is no exception to that rule. It's not going to go extinct because of us. It's not going to go extinct because of anything else. It's going to do just fine. And it's going to do, in fact, even better. Everything on the Earth, and the Earth itself, is going to fucking thrive without our existence. Which is one of the reasons why I legitimately love the concept of our extinction. I want to see us all die and not exist, so that the Earth and nature can finally go back to a healthy, natural, normal state and become really happy and vigorous again without the fucking piece of shit, parasitic, damaging infections like us. But that's then a divergence into the branched off topic, because it's still directly connected to the first thing, but it's branched off. Point being, don't believe the hype around that bullshit that they're talking about. The Earth is going to do just fine. Yes, there's going to be probably other non-human species that are going to go extinct repetitively until we go extinct, and we're going to probably be a direct cause of that, but it doesn't, not all the time, but most of the time. Either direct, sometimes indirect, and maybe very rarely they'll just naturally go extinct by themselves. But it's not to say that, everything's going to go extinct because of, climatic change. That's horseshit. The only true mass extinction event that's going to be impending, and that is impending, in fact, in our near future, is ourselves. That's a fact. And on that front, another piece of proof of that, and us knowing but not willing to acknowledge the truth about that, is us desperately trying to put colonies on other planets, specifically Mars, and trying to develop space mining technology. It's called a parasite recognizing it's about to deplete its host of everything it needs to survive. So it's panicking, trying to figure out how it's going to find itself a new host and bail to that host so it can continue to live rather than go extinct. It's just another piece of proof of our blatantly obvious impending extinction that we do to ourselves, or each other too, which, you know what, that leads me into Iran. First off, fuck the US and Saudi Arabia. Not that, of course, the Iran or really any nation out there, any people are truly good. I really don't know what the fuck to say. If there's any truly good humanity out there, there probably is. I don't fucking know. It doesn't feel like it, especially living in one of the nastiest nations on the earth, the United States. If not the most historically vicious nation and arrogant, but it just becomes really hard to see it, especially with the nationalist mentality that so many of these nations have. And obviously, Iran's not without fault, obviously, just like, the rest of us. But, again, fuck the United States and fuck Saudi Arabia. Like, it's just fucking dumb. Like, this whole fucking thing, realistically, in a perfect world, none of this shit would occur just because of the fact that none of these childish temper tantrums and trying to poke a angry hibernating bear in Iran, none of this fucking would happen. Wars wouldn't occur. It's just fucking dumb that this is another blatant piece of proof, in my opinion, of humanity that we need to go extinct. Because this is it's proof of our lack of intelligence and capability, honestly, because it's just fucking dumb. You don't ever see any animals throughout history certainly now, ever go to war with each other. The only ones who go to full-scale war with each other, even close to war at all, is us. We're the only fucking ones who love violence so much we can't help ourselves and decide we gotta come up with some fucked up, childish reason to get mad at each other so we can go and start killing everybody. Like, it's fucking dumb. We're obsessed with slaughter. We're obsessed with mass decimation of life. It's absurd. It's like, why the fuck are we so fucking obsessive about that? And then we treat it like a fucking competition, like a fucking game. And like, who won? Nobody fucking wins, you moron. This is not a fucking game. It's not a competition. Fuck off. Like, it's just us being fucking stupid. That's what it is. Just being obsessive over lethality. It's absurd. Yeah, this is just fucking stupid. Like, it's blatantly obvious that Iran is... They're really only being targeted because of their oil. That's it. It's the same with Iraq. It's the same with all of the Middle East. All the U.S. gives a flying fuck about is the fucking oil. That's it. That's all they give a shit about. Obviously, on top of that, if they can make billions of dollars or millions of dollars, and usually it's almost always billions of dollars, to a big nation in military sales, for vehicles, for weaponry, for equipment, for munitions, for whatever it is, then yeah, they're also going to try and do everything they can to destabilize and start a war and try to decimate and forcefully restart a nation. And they will do it repetitively, even if they keep failing, until they get exactly the result they're looking for. Exactly the result they want, which is full control over that nation's economy. Make them fully reliant on the United States exports. In this case, military, and also fully reliant upon the US dollar and oil trade. That's why the US dollar is called the petrodollar, because it's not, the people who are biased to it say, it's because of the universal standard. No, it's not because it's the universal standard voluntarily. It's because it's by fucking military force. That's why. It's fucking dumb. It's so fucking stupid. And the US has fucking miserably failed every fucking time they've tried this in literally every single nation they've tried it in. Specifically with Iran and Iraq. They failed incessantly since those nations got their fucking independences. They've failed again and again and again and again and again and again and again. They've never once succeeded in what they're trying to do with it, which is run a coup, run wars, kill off their leaders, forcefully make them submit to their will, and then they can go and do their coup. They can go and they can implement and put in whatever leadership and government type that the United States sees beneficial to itself and only itself. That's it. That's going to be United States biased. It's going to give the United States exactly what it wants without hesitation, in fact with thrill, and they're going to be happily letting the United States and its corporations control their fucking economy. That's exactly what all of that's about. It's fucking dumb. That's the United States in a nutshell. That's all the United States has ever fucking done, is that shit. And it's not okay. It's fucking wrong in every fucking level. Long story short, yeah, I know this is going to be another fucking failure again. It's fucking stupid. They're not going to succeed in anything they do. And yeah, of course, a lot of people are talking about the fucking draft age, right? Like, everything's about the draft age now, because Trump and his camp are pulling out the whole, we're probably going to pull a draft. Even for what we're doing now, even though it's not a war. It's not a true war. It's not a full-scale war. It's a proxy war. It's a satellite war. It's just this... really what it is it's like what I like to call like bickerment. It's just them bickering with each other. It's just them trying to provoke each other. That's all it really is. They're just doing this cat and mouse game of attacks that's to each other, retaliations and then the first, try it again type of thing. It's dumb. It's just a ping pong ball, but with the paper towel tube and a crumpled up piece of paper that you call a pirate map because you're a bunch of fucking children. Like, it's just really sad. It literally is exactly like that. Like, see yourself as a kid or see other people as kids doing that. With a paper towel tube and a crumpled up piece of paper. That's a very accurate interpretation and description of exactly what is going on between Iran and then the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. It's fucking stupid. And obviously the U.S. is sucking up to Saudi Arabia. That's been blatant for the longest time. It's just fucking dumb. Yeah, what nobody's talking about and nobody's pointing out to, nobody's recognizing or willing to recognize about this, what it clearly proves and shows, is this whole, the thing that the U.S. media and warmongers love to keep showing. You notice ever since the literal 70s, 60s and 70s, when the U.S. first started getting involved there, everybody, in that case the media up until social media came along, everybody and their dead grandmother, as soon as, war with Iran is suddenly on the horizon or whatever, everybody loves to fucking show a video of all of their leaders in Iran getting together in their parliament or whatever the heck their main governmental administrative house is, and they're chanting or singing "Death to America, Death to Israel." Like, great. Who the fuck cares? And here's the thing, I don't fucking blame them. I would love to see this country fucking fall. The world would benefit immensely. It really would. But, hell, it would immensely benefit from all the leading nations collapsing from existence, to be honest with you, and never being allowed to come back again. Like, what it goes to show, and it goes to prove that nobody's talking about, is it proves just how fucked up and shitty of a nation the United States is. And you don't even have to mention Israel just because Israel is the fucking teacher's pet to the United States. It's just the suck up, teacher's pet, favorite child, adopted child of the United States. That's what Israel is. It's its fucking puppy dog. Like, of course, it's its lapdog. That's it. The lapdog is the term that most people like to use. Israel is a fucking lapdog to the U.S. That's all it is. It's a little puppet. It literally is a fucking puppet state. It's the classic term and the classic of a puppet state. That's exactly what it is. You look up a puppet state, that's exactly what a fucking puppet state is Israel to the United States. If this fucking happens, right, going back to the whole draft thing, bringing it back around. Well, one, by the time it occurs, if they decide to pull the fucking draft, and I doubt even as dumb as Trump is, he would do that. Or his camp would do that. That's just more sensationalization. The bright side is I'll have just entered into the age group that's older than the maximum allowed age in the written law of draft. So I'll be 26 instead of 25 by the time that happens, which will be quite convenient, and I'll be quite happy about that. Not to say they're not going to try and change it, because I'm sure they will. So draft age is 18 to 25. So if you're 18 to 25 years of age, you can be drafted. And of course, in the United States, like most nations with drafts, anytime you're drafted, you're required by law to have to go and become a part of the military and go out to war. If you do not, you are considered a traitor, and you will be either imprisoned and probably tortured and beaten for it, but at least you'll be imprisoned. I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to be imprisonment for life or something like that. It's some fucking absurd bullshit. And then you don't have to even see or hear anybody talk about it. You don't have to read a documentation of it. Like, with this nation for a fact that they are more than happy to go out there and probably torture you and also beat you up. Maybe even fucking kill you for it. Like, no doubt. It's just fucking dumb. Like, yeah, you're a fucking traitor because you aren't willing to go cause and be a part of mass decimation of life. You aren't willing to support that. Sounds about right. Like, what the fuck? That's so fucked up. Dude, it's because you're protecting your nation, and to not do that means you're trading, because you're not serving your nation and protecting it as you're supposed to. Bull fucking shit. You're not protecting a damn thing. You're literally just enforcing and furthering a nationalistic agenda. That's all you're really doing. Corporatism, capitalism, instability. You're intentionally... All war is a mass decimation of life. That is a literal fucking fact. It's just purely mass decimation of life. That's all war is. You're out there to decimate as much signs of life as you possibly can. Decimate the roads, decimate buildings, decimate tunnels, decimate train tracks, decimate vehicles and of any kind, whether it's that go on tracks or trains or of any kind, or planes or helicopters or whatever the hell else, normal vehicles as in cars, buses, trucks, doesn't matter, decimate them. Decimate all cities, decimate the buildings, decimate towns, decimate settlements, decimate tents, decimate, the roads, the paths, decimate airports, like the train tracks, so that nobody has a choice but to get stuck. Decimate the lives of those people, kill as many people as you can. Wipe cities off the face of the fucking earth. Like, that's literally the fucking point of a war. Decimate the boats, decimate their harbors, because it's a quote-unquote show of force. It's a competition of who can kill and decimate the most life as possible. That's all it is. So a winner is considered a winner if they've decimated the most, caused the most damage, they decimated the most signs of life. That's who's considered a winner in a war, which goes to show again why you shouldn't fucking support war ever. And I literally mean ever. It doesn't mean if tons of nations committing endless human rights violations like currently Turkey is with Erdogan. It doesn't fucking matter. One, it's not your fucking nation. Butt the fuck out of it. Leave them alone. It's none of your fucking business. And two, if it's going to pull you into a war, it's not worth it. Because endless more people are going to be harmed and killed and hurt and displaced as a result of it. You don't fucking do that. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So, no, you're not protecting anything. You're not protecting freedoms. You're not defending yourself and your family, friends, the people of a nation, or anything. You're not defending or helping a damn thing. You're not fighting tyranny because you can't fight fucking tyranny with tyranny. You can't fucking end violence with violence. It doesn't fucking work. Like, no, that's a total delusion, total bullshit. You don't fucking do that. If you're an intelligent individual and creature, you're not going to support that shit ever, no matter what. And I'm right about this. There's absolutely no use to it. Like, there is no such thing as protecting a freedom. There is no such thing as protecting your nation or defending it, or any others for that matter, or stopping tyranny with tyranny. It's not fucking happening. You can't end a war with fucking war. It's never fucking worked in human history. That's why a lot of times wars have never ended. Like, literally, never do they end. Whether it's via small skirmishes that happen now and then, like in the Middle East a lot of times, or if it's like the Koreas, where they're literally just in a ceasefire agreement. That's it. The war has never actually ended. It's just a ceasefire agreement that's lasted this entire time, where they've all stayed and complied to the ceasefire. Which means the war is literally still happening. Afghanistan, same thing. There's still tons of skirmishes that happen there off and on. It's ridiculous. Like, they're literally ongoing wars. Even if they're not full scale, they're still happening. They're still continuing from their inceptions, and it's fucking stupid. I mean, technically, the wars with Iran and Iraq have been ongoing for really, literally since the late 60s, early 70s, when the U.S. started them there. They've just been ongoing ever since. It's just been via skirmishes rather than full scale. So what it really would be is they're starting back up a full-scale war with Iran again. It's really sad. And another thing is, and this is what a lot of other nations know, and you can kind of see that even the U.S. knows it damn well, because Britain does, France does, everybody who supposedly hates Iran does know this about Iran, and that is that you do not fucking mess with Iran. They have some of the world's greatest minds in regards to whether it's military strategy and development and tech development and all this other stuff that are literally in their fucking government cabinets. Like, they're there to help the fucking government advance. And The truth is they know they have some of the greatest minds in those departments there. Like, there's so much to Iran that makes it such a sleeping giant that if you're going to fucking poke it too much, eventually things will literally fucking explode in your face. And you're going to get exactly what you're looking for, which is that war. The full-scale war. But you're probably going to fucking regret it. Yeah, you don't fucking mess with something like Iran. And if you do, you're going to fucking regret it. And I know that each of these nations know that. Like, even my mom, which I feel like is a relevant thing to point out because, again, she's basically 60, just about. So she has a lot more experience, obviously, than my nearly 26-year-old self on Earth. And with this shit, right? With Iran and the U.S. and all that. So she knows and has experienced more of this than I have. And so she's been observing longer. And what she's came to the conclusion of is that same thing. That really what it is more of a, currently it's more of a fucking shit show than anything. They're giving us a show, probably orchestrating this to more distract people. It's probably a realignment of allyship as well. And moreover, what it really points out and proves is that nobody really does actually intend or want to truly mess with Iran because they know how much they're going to jeopardize themselves if they do that. Like, they're that loaded up to the hilt with those minds, those brilliant, world sought after minds in those departments. And obviously these other nations like the United States that would be more reason for them to want to go to war because they'd rather take those minds for themselves. They don't like anybody having more superiors than them like that. But what are you fucking supposed to do? There's just so much to it that I didn't put a meme up right now that somebody shared recently on one of those pro-war tweets with Iran thing. That was super fucking popular. Talking about how, you're intelligent if you go to war with Iran and you cut them down to size, so to speak, or whatever. You put them in their place. It's like, here's the funny thing. It's like, everybody always says, the audacity of Iran, how dare they, blank. They deserve to go to war with, or whatever, to war with them. And they're so threatening, everything, their existence is a threat, pretty much, is fucking stupid. And that's why people want to go to war with them. Like, that's literally a fucking reason, pretty much, at this point, without anybody saying that that's the reason they want to go to war with them. But the meme is, I think, just fucking perfect and hilarious, because it's so fucking true, especially amongst the U.S. populace. Especially amongst the U.S. government, especially. Like, goddamn, like, it's that meme right there is so fucking true. It's like the audacity of Iran, It's like, how dare they put their country in the middle of all of our military bases? The audacity of that bitch, Iran, like, to war with them. But yeah, I still think most of this, all of this shit that we're going through with this, one, it's blatantly a cycle that the government's having the media intentionally go through, which to me is more proof that it is more of a distraction for us to watch. It's a show. It's an entire fucking melodramatic, shitty quality soap opera is what they're broadcasting to us, and they're giving us, they're feeding us, they're showing us, because it's a distraction, I'm sure, from something else that obviously we don't fucking know what it is, because we're fucking feeble, dumb, brainless. Like, of course we're gonna fucking just go along with the quote-unquote experts, and those who are inside and thus actually know firsthand bullshit they do. It's, I don't know, it's fucking dumb. Like, it's a fucking cycle when you pay attention to it, and you go back through it. You can literally see it go around and around and around and around. And it always fucking starts with, well, look, here's U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Britain deciding they want to go to war with Iran again. Iran's done something, or they've retaliated, or they've killed or done something to Iraq. I mean, rather, well, yeah, Iraq or Iran, specifically Iran. And then it goes from that, after a while, to, oh, look, Russia and Turkey. And then suddenly, or Russia, Turkey, and Syria. And then suddenly, then it goes to, and then for good, and then it just kind of cycles again. It goes back around. And it's like, okay, great. But here's the thing. What they're trying to do to distract from that, make it less apparent to the more gullible people, which is sadly the majority of the United States people, because the dumbest fucking nation on earth is the United States, blatantly. That's been proven endlessly. What they do to gullibilize people further into believing that what I'm saying here is bullshit, and that is absolutely not true, that they do not, it's not a distraction thing, that it's not a cycle, is they occasionally, just every so often, they decide, let's sprinkle in a little bit about Modi in India, let's sprinkle in a little bit about Xi Jinping and Winnie the Pooh in China. Fuck it, let's throw in, let's sprinkle in a little bit of Venezuela in there too, you know? And maybe about the protests in Chile, Bolivia, like whatever. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. If they do that every so often, they pepper it in there. Just enough to be like, see, we're not going through a cycle. And then they go through the cycle again. Because that's their excuse to say they're not going through a cycle. Because, well, look, we changed it up. There's no cycle here because we broke the cycle because we put this in here. We sprinkled it in. So you can't tell us we're going through a cycle. Yeah, we fucking can, and I fucking will. You're going through a fucking cycle. There's something up with this. Like, it's not right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel so fucking bad for all the people in these nations that the U.S. never stops fucking over. All the fucking time. I feel bad for the people in Iran, in Iraq, in Syria. I feel bad for the people in Afghanistan. I feel people for the bad. I was dyslexic as fuck. I feel bad for the people. I feel bad for the people in, Venezuela and Chile and all these endless places, whether they are there currently or not. I feel so fucking bad for them because they never fucking catch a break with this nation. This fucking country is a piece of fucking shit. The amount of fuckery they do to people, the amount of people they kill, the amount of people they hurt, the amount of nations they control, or at least try to, run coups and repetitively, is just, it's fucking upsetting. I hurt for those people that just, they have to go through this non-stop. Just wish they'd be fucking left alone and let them actually fucking breathe for once, rather than always being under the fucking looming threat of the United States being a fucking dipshit about things, as always, trying to control everything. But yeah, so I feel bad for more than anything for the people of Iran and Iraq, because they don't fucking deserve this. They never have been allowed to breathe and live for once in peace. Literally since they fucking came into existence in their modern iterations as their current states and nations. That's the saddest, most fucked up part of it. They've never been allowed to just exist on their own in peace for once. Just let them fucking breathe. Let them live without all this other shit. Never once. I just feel so bad for them. Because they don't fucking deserve that. Nobody fucking deserves to go through that. Literally nonstop throughout your entire fucking life. I apologize to everybody there. I feel so fucking bad for you guys. And I hope someday the nations that keep doing that to you collapse. And I hope that also your own nation progresses, and in ways that are progressing for you guys living there and making it better for you, not for themselves. That's about it I wanted to talk about today. So, yeah. Hope you guys got the gist. And maybe enjoyed, if you, enjoy this type of stuff, this podcast episode for today, this episode of Chatterbox. If you did, of course, please do be sure to leave a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. Submarine sandwich is, of course, subscribe. And as you know, turn on the bell notification, because you'll otherwise not be notified of me uploading 100% of the time. But you will be notified at least 5% of the time. I'm sorry, not at least. At max 5% of the time by YouTube when I upload. In the future, if you do hit the bell notifications, that's pretty sick. You get a 5% chance you'll actually be notified that I uploaded. Because Google is a fucking beast. And obviously the future is bright for this channel. I'm going to upload something else today. which is the 7th of January, just for the record. Yeah, as a test in full 1080p, see if YouTube's gonna fuck with me or not again. Because the new PCs here video, that last video I posted, it was being a real dick. Like, it took literally just short of a full 24 hours to fully upload, and it shouldn't have, because my upload speed on average is anywhere between about 13 and 18 and a half megabytes per second. So there's no fucking excuse for that. And yeah, then as soon as it finished uploading, instantly processed. Like, literally, there wasn't even a fucking fraction of a second it was on processing. It just was done. So that especially says something's up with that, because I'm pretty sure the compression happens in the processing, not in the upload. So why the fuck it took so long? I'm pretty sure that proved it was 100% YouTube. So that video is kind of a test video. It's also just a video that I really wanted to take. It's really a peaceful one. It's pretty. It's nature filled. So because I like to post the videos like that sometimes. There's gonna be some people that enjoy it. So we'll see what happens. See if it uploads quick, or if it decides to be a dick about it again. We'll see. It'll be a lot shorter than that one. It won't be 16 minutes. It'll probably be about 3 minutes, if that. Probably less than that. But yeah. Anyway, so stay tuned for that. Just so, because in the description and or in the comments, I'm gonna literally I'm gonna type exactly how long it took to upload. And then I'm gonna start recording some stuff today. Just the tester stuff, like games and without face cam, with face cam, different games. Some of it I might let go live, so to you guys you can see it. Most, if maybe even all of it, though, I'm gonna have, other than that first one I mentioned, I'm gonna have go up as unlisted video, because I just want to see how long it took. And I don't know if that's really going to be content that you guys want to see or not, just this random chunks of shit, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's see what YouTube does with this shit, and hope to see you guys at whatever the next video may be. Reboot again, coming very soon. Stay safe, stay fluffy, have a great day wherever you are. Be nice to each other, for fuck's sake. Please, be nice to each other. There's enough dickery in the world to go around. We don't need to all be dicks to each other, too. And I hope to see you guys later. Bye-bye.